are a centralized ordering platform for dental supplies. Torch is just really helpful at bringing all of those pieces together and taking the guesswork out of your ordering. Just total peace of mind, knowing that, the price you're paying is a good competitive price. Everything is in one place, one website. You're ordering Ultradent and Comet, and your kind of bread and butter supply is all on one website. Just really simplifying and giving that peace of mind and simplicity to the ordering.
Hey everyone, it is Kevin Henry, the founder of Dental Assistant Nation, and I'm so glad that you joined us for another edition of the Dental Assistant Nation podcast. We're going to have a great time today. We're going to talk about a topic that's very important for dental assistants, and I'm going to mention that this episode is being sponsored by Torch Dental. And with that, I am thrilled to bring in Elise Hill. Elise, how are you?
I'm so good. Thanks for having me today. Really looking forward to chatting with you. And dental assisting is near and dear to my heart, so this will be a lot of fun.
And I love that it's near and dear to your heart, but I know there's a reason why, and I want you to tell our audience a little bit more about you so they'll know that too.
Absolutely. I did not intend to get into the dental field when I went to college. Kind of thought I'd be an engineer, follow my dad's path. And so I found a job at an orthodontic office while I was in college, just intending to work a couple hours a week as a sterile tech. But then light bulb moment, not in the least because this probably was just the best doctor I've ever worked for. Just an incredible environment, great team, everything, and fell in love with dental assisting, specifically at this orthodontic office. I'd probably still be there, honestly, if it weren't for me wanting to move back home after college. But completely pivoted my whole career trajectory after, working for him for a while. Ended up taking online courses my senior year simply to be able to be at the office full time. That's truly how much I loved it and the work I was doing as an assistant there.
Awesome.
Moved back to Colorado, didn't end up going to dental school for a variety of reasons, and continued to work as an assistant for a couple of years before going to hygiene school. So probably spent about 10 years of my career assisting and another 10 as a hygienist, and just absolutely love the dental field, which is great because now I'm still involved in the dental world, talking to assistants every day in my role here at Torch, but just looks a little bit different, non-clinical.
Well, I've got to ask you, let's talk about the move from assisting to hygiene. What was the toughest thing for you with that, and what would you tell assistants who are thinking about making that transition at some point?
Oh, yeah, great question. The toughest thing for me, and it's kind of what led to the pivot to Torch, was honestly that hygiene is a little bit more similar day to day than assisting is. And so it's just a different way of being involved in the office. Certainly an interesting, great career path, still highly involved in patients day to day. It's a bit more independent than assisting is. In Colorado, at least, you can work as a hygienist even if the doctor is not there that day, which is a nice degree of flexibility. But I did find when I was kind of looking to do something a little different than hygiene, I did miss that, like in assisting, you can go from ortho to general to prosthodontist and kind of explore a little bit differently there. So it's a great transition. And I will say being an assistant made my time in hygiene school about 1,000,000% easier. So it's definitely a wonderful background to come from.
Well, I want our audience to know a little bit about Torch Dental. So if you don't mind giving a little intro to that, and then tell me how your days as an assistant still benefit you today when you're talking to those other assistants.
Yeah, so for anybody who hasn't heard of Torch yet, we are a centralized ordering platform for dental supplies. So we just specialize in dental supplies, so Amazon, but take away all the random stuff. And we are front and center dental supplies all in one place. So helping you, instead of having to log on to 3 different websites or 13 different websites to get all your products, we pull everything together in one place. So when it is your day or your free 10 minutes to do your ordering, you just have to go one place to do that ordering. And the people I talk with all day are assistants. And so that is what makes this just such a fun position for me. I'm still involved in the day-to-day. Nobody's ever having to explain why they're late for a phone call with me because their patient ran over. Like, I got you. I 100% get it. And the fact that you even take time to talk to me is no small sacrifice. So it's great to still just be involved really directly with the dental world, and knowing that I'm doing something that's helping assistants' days be easier is extra special.
Well, I know nobody listening to this does this. I know that beyond a shadow of a doubt. But let's talk about some of the biggest mistakes assistants may make whenever it comes to the ordering side of things. What do you see, and how does Torch help?
Gosh, I mean, I have been there. I was that assistant who was just over ordering because you're so afraid of running out of cavi wipes and having to tear them in half for that last day. I don't know. So, just not being on top of what quantities you need or forgetting there. Gosh, also, what if your assistant who does the ordering leaves and then you don't know where the magic book is with all the passwords? And like, wait, who do we get that item from? Who do we get that product from? And just really kind of feeling a little confused whether that person is gone for, a week or gone for because they went on maternity leave. And so, Torch is just really helpful at bringing all of those pieces together and taking the guesswork out of your ordering. Just total peace of mind, knowing that, the price you're paying is a good competitive price. Because, spoiler alert, if you're paying $18 a canister for cavi wipes, you are not getting a good deal. And it is amazing to see that light bulb moment for offices when they're like, wait, we could be paying what for the same exact product? So, we're going to put the prices right in front of you. We're going to tell you the exact quantity you got last time so you feel really confident that you're not over or understocking your office. And then eliminate that little black book of passwords that everything is in one place, one website. You're ordering Ultradent and Comet and your kind of bread and butter supply is all on one website, all on the same click of the button to place that order. Just really simplifying and giving that peace of mind and simplicity to the ordering.
And I love that you mentioned that sometimes the other assistant has taken a leave, maybe, who does the
Mm-hmm.
ordering and it falls somebody else. I've heard so often now assistants are coming in and they're just handed everything and said, here, it's your
Yeah.
job. And
Yes.
so for those new assistants that are coming into the industry, what's the biggest piece of advice you would give them about knowing the right thing to bring into their practice and the right amount of things, maybe even, to bring into their practice?
Yeah, it is a learning curve. So many things to learn when you come into a new office. If I've done my job right, the supply ordering is going to be the least interesting thing to learn. That it is truly just like logging onto a website. I love a feature that we have that's the My Inventory, and it shows you the exact SKUs that your doctor likes. So you have the peace of mind that when you get a sticky note that says we need composite, you're not going, what composite? I've asked you a lot of questions
Yeah.
today and I just want to make sure I get this one right. So, it's important to get those details right, and being really mindful of quantity, the overhead, all of this is just something that's going to take your role as an assistant to the next level and make you that person that's completely indispensable to your office.
I've heard, because I have been at the Torch Dental booth at Star of the North, at California
Yeah.
Dental meetings, which has been great. And I've been listening to some of the conversations. And one of the biggest things that I hear is, well, gosh, I've already got a relationship with X rep or whatever it
Mhm.
might be. And they
Yep.
always worry about breaking that relationship. And I'm curious, what advice do you give to somebody if they're worried about breaking off that relationship that they've already built with the sales rep and doing something with Torch?
It's definitely a big component of the industry is that rep relationship. It's also a component that is a little bit outdated and takes a little bit more time and energy than I think the assistants and doctors sometimes realize right off the bat. Kind of going back to what are some of those mistakes that we make. Unfortunately, one of the big mistakes I see is just assuming your rep has the best price for you, has your best interest in mind. And so I always say, let's let the numbers speak for themselves. We are very transparent at Torch. That's one of our biggest goals is just to say, this is what you're paying, this is what you could pay, and then make it a really easy, just black and white business decision. I love that I get to interact in a way that reps do with the offices, get to know you. I care about your schedule, I care about your day to day, but ultimately, I'm not making any commission. And so the advice that you get from me is going to feel like the same advice you get from your rep, but without any pressure to spend a certain amount.
And I know you know our audience knows that right now money is very front of mind for a lot of dental
Gosh, yes.
practices. And so, do you tell dental assistants to kind of keep tabs of how much they're saving and then let the doc know? Because that's one thing I always talk about when I'm out on the road is making sure your doctor knows how you're really watching out for his or her back and showing with those numbers sometimes as well.
Yes, and even easier than that, we don't even ask you to keep track of it. We have a little price indicator on Torch that shows your order history. And so, you can see what you paid, how many you ordered. We really like to give you all the information and let you make the best decisions. But one of my favorite calls and parts of my day that I have is to do a practice review with offices after 2 or 3 months on the platform, where we look at, hey, how is your supply spend going? Is it trending in the right direction? And how can we, continue to maximize what Torch has to offer? to bring that bottom line down so that you can have some more, office lunches or a little bit bigger Christmas bonus because you're not spending so much on cotton rolls and gauze.
And it's a great point. I want to go back to something you said earlier. It's like Amazon. And I think so
hmm
often we need to think of how we do this every day when we walk outside of the dental practice. So why wouldn't we do something like this when we're inside the dental practice as well?
hmm Oh, absolutely. And one edge we have on Amazon, though, is that we are only working with authorized, vetted dealers. And so we are a platform that you can trust that if you say you're ordering a specific product, it's not gray market, it's not without the proper, chain of command. So we want to be
That-
trustworthy.
And that's a really great point. I'm glad you mentioned that because knowing that the product is still, let's be honest, it isn't past its expiration date. It's
hmm
actually what you're ordering. Things like that are so important to making sure that panic doesn't set into the dental practice whenever you finally pull
Yes.
it out and you're ready to use it.
Totally, absolutely, yeah. We're not saving you money by getting you anything that's less than quality. We're saving you money by putting all of our suppliers against each other to make sure that they're bringing their best to our offices. So it's a fun piece of the puzzle that we get to play.
So I've got to ask, what's the one thing you miss about being in the dental practice maybe every day?
Mm. This is funny. I love the flow you get into when you just like know how to read your doctor's mind
Yeah.
and you're just like handing off instruments and a procedure's just like humming along. And I like there's kind of nothing like it. It's probably the nerdiest possible answer, but just having that like good connection with your doctor and the patient's happy and you're happy, gosh, that is something I miss and really love about being clinical.
And I know you
Yeah.
mentioned you had a great relationship with your doctor. How did you build
hmm
that, or was that something you guys just clicked?
I'm going to give a lot of credit to him. He saw the value in his assistants and really made sure that at the end of the day, we knew that he knew the role that we were playing in his business being successful. And so just being super appreciated by a doctor, hopefully it's more the norm than the exception, but I know that there is a variety of environments that people are working in. And so that was definitely a component of him. He just led in a really strong, generous way. But also, I love to listen. And the best assistants that I've ever worked with, you would almost think you were listening to the doctor when the assistant was talking to the patient about their procedure, about what they can expect. They just have that kind of script down, but in a really genuine way. And so that's always something I tried to emulate a lot, just to really learn from the doctor and present things in the way that, she or he was doing to the patient as well.
Hey friends, I'm heading to Nashville this year to speak at Accelerate the Dental Revenue Workshop. This isn't just another event. It's packed with real strategies, real solutions, and the kind of insight that actually moves your practice forward. If you're ready to grow, lead, and finally make your systems work for you, grab your ticket. Use my code KevinH to save $150, and I'll see you in Music City.
Well,
Yeah.
this has been an episode that's been sponsored by Torch Dental. So, Elise, I want to make sure people know, how do they learn more about Torch Dental and maybe how they set up a call with you?
Yes, please come find us at torchdental.com and make sure you let them know that Kevin sent you our way so we can give you some appreciation and kudos. But would love to set you up with a practice review to start. There's, no strings attached. Just have a quick 15-minute phone call with some of our practice consultants where we can kind of see the products that you're getting and show you the prices that we'd be able to offer to you on Torch. And then after you kind of see the savings and get on board with the peace of mind that we can offer, I would love to be your onboarding specialist and, get you set up for success. So yeah, torchdental.com is how you find us, and just starts with a simple conversation, no pressure at all.
And we're going to have that in the show notes. So, dental assistants, it's real easy for you to find. And I want to emphasize, Torch Dental has been reaching out to work with dental assistants specifically. So, in past episodes, whenever I've talked about companies that want to work with dental assistants, this is Torch Dental. And they want to make sure that you know how important you are in the dental practice, not just to your patients, but to the bottom line, including that ordering side of things as well. So, Elise, hey, I enjoyed the conversation. Thanks so much for stopping by.
Thanks so much for having me. Really enjoyed our conversation.
Absolutely. And thanks to all of you for listening to this episode. Again, sponsored by Torch Dental. We appreciate their sponsorship of Dental Assistant Nation, and we appreciate that, again, they appreciate dental assistants as well. Until next time, it's Kevin Henry, founder of Dental Assistant Nation, signing off, and as always, wishing you nothing but success ahead.